Hello and welcome to the Big Arsenal Discussion. I'm your host Giles, and joining me today are regulars Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV, Amanda from Gooner Girls Podcast, former FHM editor Dan Jude, and writer and blogger Dave Seeger. Okay, so let's talk about the Arsenal fans and, well, basically, are they whinging? Are they whingers? Are we ungrateful lot? You know, Robbie, you interviewed some Dortmund fans this week, and you interview fans all up and down the country as well. I know you interviewed a Man United fan the other day and whatnot. I mean, do you think Arsenal fans have some sort of God-given, they feel like they've got some God-given right to expect everything the earth and whinge when we don't get it?
Are we whingers? No, I didn't mean that, Amanda. No, listen, it comes across like we're whingers because I think our patience has been really tested. I mean, we moved into the new stadium and we've had to wait a long time to really have something to cheer about. And, you know, we spend a lot of money to go and watch our team. And, you know, so there's a lot that when it's not going well, there's a lot to complain about. And I think Arsenal fans are very vocal, and they will say. But if you actually look on it, we're quite patient as well, because you look at how long we had to wait until we won our sort of first trophy, the FA Cup, and there was nobody really in that time. Not a massive amount of people saying, you know, get the manager out. We stuck by him. We've been quite patient. So I wouldn't say. I would say on one aspect we are whingers because our standards are very high, but then on the other aspect we have been quite patient over the years.
Amanda, do you want to respond to his accusation?
He can accuse me of anything.
No, she's just a whinger.
Intonation that you're a whinger.
I'm actually quite the positive one. I think all fans whinge at certain points, and this was labelled at us. I'll never forget, I read an Evening Standard article about, we were moaning about Kevin Campbell and he didn't buy, and well, you know, we never had this with Graham as much. No way did we all sit there every season going, he hasn't bought. Not like we do with Wenger. And I remember thinking then, they're calling us spoiled. To other football fans, we do come across like that. But we were sold that vision of when we moved from Highbury to the Emirates, we're going to compete. Well, the goalpost got changed and we know the rest is history. Do we whinge? Well, the thing is, in the 80s, we would have been whinging, but we didn't have Twitter or Facebook then, or social media. So, would we have whinged? We had Terry Neal, we had Don Howe. We would have whinged. Trust me, I whinged then far more than I do now. I actually.
Do you?
I whinged far more then. Oh my word, far more. Don Howe, Jesus, yes. Now I moan at the Arsenal fans moaning. I get sick of it because I still was looking forward to going to the Dortmund game, and people were. I told them all. I did a tweet. I said, if you don't want to go tomorrow night, you're going to moan. Don't go. Go and support Spurs and take a good. No, if you want to look, there was a few Arsenal fans saying they wanted to lose because they want to keep losing so they get them out. Like I said, you've got to take a good look at yourself. Go and support the Spuds, and literally don't bother going, because I love going to the Emirates, and it's a real. What's that word? Pleasure. I love going. Yes, it's stressful. Yes, there's lots of times I plutz. We all do. But I get really, really angry before a game. I with certain supporters. It is, there's thousands and thousands of Arsenal supporters around the world that would love to get to a game. And you've got season ticket holders that don't turn up. That pisses me off big time, right? I go every single match unless I'm dying of an illness. You've got people whinging that he hasn't bought this and he hasn't bought that, and I'm one of them. I'm not saying that, and that's fine. But support the 11 that walk on that pitch, okay? The atmosphere, I thought Dortmund, it's hard because they don't stop singing and dancing and drumming the whole night, so you couldn't really hear us. The players do have to give us something to cheer about as well. It has to be worked both ways. We need a bit of, someone to do that to the crowd. We used to have Ian Wright that did that, or Adams that did that, and Vieira did that, and get us going a little bit. I think because we're on Twitter and we see it a lot, do we whinge? Yes, we do whinge, but we also pay some of the highest ticket prices in the country to watch a team that is underperforming year in, year out as well. Okay, so I'm 50-50 on it.
Yeah, we do whinge. But all football fans whinge, I think.
I think so.
And like you say, Twitter enables us to do that in a way that is much more obvious for everyone to see. I think we spend a lot of money on our tickets. Yeah, they're very expensive, and when that's not reflected in the money spent by the club on top class players, you've got a right to be annoyed. You know, when you're spending 120 quid a week for a pair of tickets, and then we're going out and losing players that we should be buying because we don't want to spend a little bit more here and there, and then you look at what the club, what some of the people on the board are taking out in dividends. It's awful. You know, we have a right to be pissed off, in my opinion. I think that what's nice about this season is, like you said, you know, you need those players that, you know, that G up the crowd, and you know, we've had them traditionally. I feel like Sanchez is becoming one of those players for us.
Yes.
He's the first player really since Henry. I mean, obviously we had Van Persie, was brilliant, but he's the first player since Henry that gives me the goosebumps when I see his name on the team sheet and when he comes out, and you just know he's capable of that brilliance. In the last couple of games and that goal against Dortmund, it just felt like, you know, for the first time in probably 7 or 8 years, it was like, yes, we've got a new saviour of the club, and it gave me that excitement. But yeah, I think we whinge, and we've probably got every right to.
Dave, how would you sense it?
Yeah, the same. I mean, we do whinge, but I think I'll go with a different perspective, just to be slightly alternative. I'm not sure that we realise what other clubs do. I had a conversation on Twitter this morning. We're in our own silo, and we think the press. We whinge about the press because they have a go at us. We whinge about our injuries because the press have a go at us about our injuries. We don't see what other clubs are going through. We think the press only attack us. How many times do you read an Everton article or a Man United article? And how many fans realise, if they live in London or they see the internet version of the press, that in Manchester, in Liverpool, in Glasgow, it's different press? All their back pages are about Manchester and Liverpool. They don't read about Arsenal. And if you read the back page of the Mail and the Express up there, they'll be going on about Man United's dreadful training regime and how many injuries they've got. So, you know, we whinge about stuff that we think everyone's the world's against us. It's just because that's what we see.
Mind you, we also get a lot of grief off the press, more than most teams.
And what about the radio station that has only Arsenal, that doesn't have daily anybody else?
Yeah, look, what about things like that? We get a lot of grief.
Do we?
Yeah.
No.
It's publicity for our club.
I don't listen to it.
But the point is, of course we moan, but I don't think we're any different to any other fans. I just think we only know what our fans do, because why are we interested in any other fans? I don't know what other clubs moan
all
about.
Fans
no
moan.
interest. So we all moan.
But we only
see our own moaning.
The only thing I'll say, Giles, is that we, as much as we moan, we need to give credit as well when it's due. So like everybody moaning the other day when we was playing Dortmund about Sanogo starting up front. Sanogo scores the goal. I never heard nobody give the manager credit for playing Sanogo. Right, we won the game.
Right,
that decision.
An extreme example.
No, but that decision. If Sanogo, if we would have lost the game, every fan would have turned around and said, "Wenger out. Why did you start Sanogo? Podolski was there. Blah blah." When he's won the game, Sanogo scored. So the decision to play Sanogo has been vindicated. Whether his overall performance or not, we won the game. Sanogo scored. Where's the credit? A lot of times now, the whinging has turned into the fact that it's almost like we're so used to whinging that we complain about everything, but when sometimes we're supposed to give a bit of credit, we don't give it.
Depends who we listen to as well. I mean, you have your own followers, you follow certain people, you know, you listen to certain people. I personally, people I talk to, Sanogo changed the semi-final and the final. Now, I don't want him to be a long-term solution for Arsenal, but I gave him huge credit for changing those games, as I gave Wenger huge credit for changing the formation to 4-4-2 that won us both games.
Did anyone give?
So you know, it depends who you listen to.
Did anybody give Wenger credit for sticking by Aaron Ramsey when he was having a tough time?
Well,
yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that sometimes we've got to be careful with the whinging, that we don't. You know, we don't end up like that's all we ever do, and we never give any credit. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm totally forcing him praise where praise is due, and also, if I think I've made a mistake on someone, I'll say it.
Exactly,
like Monreal,
as well. But
I didn't make a mistake on Mertesacker.
Are we supposed to give credit to Arsene Wenger for playing Sanogo on Wednesday night? Is that what you're trying to say to me?
Of course, yes.
On the line, didn't he, by playing him?
If first of all, he had no choice. Second of all, he had no choice.
No, he could have played Podolski. He could have played Podolski up front. He could have. No, but his choice. His choice. He's decided.
I've got to give Wenger credit for playing Sanogo.
Of course you do. If the manager has decided, I'm going to play Yaya Sanogo, and if it goes bad, everybody's going to be on my case. And you know what?
People may have. I wouldn't.
He scored.
Yeah, he did, and it was
It's
great.
almost like some people they don't want him to score because they'd rather give him stick.
Yeah, well, that's
Agenda.
the people that shouldn't be
He
there.
scored.
Are you talking about agendas here?
But we shouldn't
Yes,
be in
there
that
are
position.
there are some fans with agendas. Yaya Sanogo scored. Arsene Wenger selected him. Give him some credit. If it went
There are
wrong,
some fans-
everyone would be on his
There are
case.
some
man.
fans, Amanda, that did actually want Arsenal to lose.
That's what I said to you before. I told them not to turn up and go and support another team. You
Right,
should
but it's
never
on the
do that,
same
ever.
hand, I'm saying that if we can give stick when it goes wrong, quite rightly so, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with giving stick. I do it especially when it's obvious. So I've given Arsene Wenger so much stick for not signing certain players, yeah. But then on the other hand, I don't hear nobody giving him credit for signing Sanchez.
Oh,
He
course
signed him,
did.
didn't he?
Oh, Rob.
No, it's
Robbie.
listen, all I ever hear, for instance, is fans saying, the signings are terrible. He actually made some very good. Debuchy was
All
a
of
good
them were
signing.
good signings.
Right?
All of them.
For me, what he made, the mistake was he stopped short of buying
Yes.
that defensive midfielder.
Yeah, and a
the
centre-half.
But I wouldn't say that all his signings have been terrible.
No, they haven't. Who
No,
said
but there
that?
are some people
Rob.
there are a lot of, I'm not saying you, Amanda, but I'm saying there's a lot of people out there who'll be like, his signings, he don't know how to sign players.
Well, let Amanda come in.
Question. So when you was outside and you heard the team, were you delighted that Sanogo was up front?
I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't have a problem because for me, I was
You
like
weren't in the
Sanogo.
Tollington then.
I was in the Tollington actually.
Do you know
I was
what?
in the
It's not
Tollington.
funny, I wasn't in the Tollington.
And do you
I
know
was
what?
on my own with two friends, right? And when the team came through, I looked at it and I went, "We have to give him a chance."
I was in the Tollington and I was getting.
If one
I
fan
said,
comes up to me and says they were happy Sanogo was in the team, I'm sorry.
listen,
I will
Amanda, I was in
no
the
one.
Tollington
What
and
Robbie's saying.
I said, that's exactly what I'm saying. And I said, you know what? Let's see what he does. He'll
course,
bring pace and that to pressure to the
It's
team.
all right. We can argue about. You two can argue.
We're
about it.
whinging. We're
Listen,
whinging.
we all,
I'm not whinging, I'm
bottom line is,
arguing.
Charles, we all agree that we are whingers.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
We're whingers. We proved it.
Yeah, of course we whinge.
So there you are.
But we
What
got-
do you think? Are you a whinger? Are there too many whingers on social media? Give us your comments. Tell us your thoughts. Leave it in the box below. Thank you very much.
Want to get something for your Gooner boyfriend or Gooner girlfriend or Gooner kids this Christmas? Then check out AFTVstore.com for all the latest. You can get t-shirts like this, Arsenal Rocks. You can get t-shirts like the latest Alexis Sanchez one. Listen, it's all there at the store. Make sure you check it out for that original gift for your Gooner person. AFTVstore.com. Merry Christmas from everybody here at Arsenal Fan TV.